Hello there, welcome back to Planet Zoo, and thank you very much for joining me today. I do hope you're well, and you join me here back in Lunar Zoo. So this is our newest zoo, focusing on buildings and foliage. As you can see, we're here out the front where there's quite a lot of foliage, and let's go through. So in our last episode we built our meerkat habitat over here, which I think turned out quite nicely. I was pretty pleased with it in the end. It was a bit complicated, bit of a tricky shaped building, but it worked out pretty well in the end, I think. It could have been better, but it could have been a lot worse as well. So you live and learn, don't you? And you move on to the next project. And our next project is just off to the right here. As you can see, I've already started a bit of basic structure work. So this is going to be the shape of our building, and my inspiration for this was basically I wanted to have something along here with a nice custom made glass front. So this glass front here, you can see it's individual buildings like this that I've made. So it's 13 pieces that makes up just one panel. So that is just a big piece of glass and a wooden frame. So very simple. And then I've just copied and pasted it around and shaped it along the edge here. So the idea is that people can see all the way along this pathway. They can just walk along and see the animals inside. And talking of the animals, this will be our Aardvark enclosure, which I did mention at the end of the last episode. So yes, I haven't changed my mind. This is going to have a couple of Aardvarks in it, and it's not going to be anything too over the top, too fancy. It's going to have, I've got a bit of an idea for the roof. It's going to have a sort of a raised glass area of roof in the middle here, but with a solid roof, I think. Maybe just sort of glass windows. And this, obviously, this shaped piece here is going to cause issues. So to get around that, I will probably ignore it, which is always the easiest way to get around a problem, isn't it? You just ignore it and it goes away. So no, we'll deal with that when we come to it. But it may just be that the shape follows, the roof follows this shape here, and then just continues, and you get like an overhanging veranda bit covering this end area. That may well be how I do the roof. You can't always do custom roofs. It's not always possible. It doesn't always make sense. It doesn't always work. And in fact, sometimes just doing the basic square shape where you've got a different shape underneath can actually look really nice, because it makes it look a bit different. You'll see what I mean when it's done, and hopefully it'll look good. So I need to get my animals in so I can see their traversable areas. And this glass front isn't finished. It needs a better base, and it's probably going to have some slightly more solid pillars dotted along the length of it as well, because it's going to be a supporting structure, obviously, with the roof, so it does need to look a bit stronger than it does at the moment. I do wish there were some better glass pieces in the game, because these are really dirty, aren't they? You can't really see through them very well. As far as I know, these are the best pieces of glass that you can just use at any angle, and they're just, I don't know, they're not great. I wish it was a bit like the water, where you could change the transparency of it, so it looked a bit better. Actually, it looks better looking through it that way than that way, but I think that's just because of what I've got beyond it. Don't know, we'll see. But yeah, so that's the basic shape and structure of my habitat. I'm probably going to have a staff building around the back here. I have got the keeper's hut here, or a large one here, but it's still a bit of a walk, that one, so I'll probably try and get one hidden around the back here as well. Probably in this episode, not too sure. We'll see how the habitat goes. So let me go away and crack on with a little bit more detailing. Right, I just wanted to show you my idea for the roof. So this is what I come up with. I really like this. So this is what I meant when I mentioned a glass top with a solid roof. So you've got this raised area with this the glass windows around it. I've left a gap here for ventilation. I think that actually works pretty nicely. It doesn't need to be a completely sealed environment. And also, so this is what I've decided here. So I did put an angled bit of roof here. I didn't just bring it all the way across. But there is still a bit of a veranda on this corner here where it hangs out. And what I'll actually do, because obviously this is basically going to be impossible to fill this gap here. So at the moment you can see the roof is basically hanging in midair. It's not supported by this at all. And essentially that is how it's going to stay. So again, this is just ventilation. So there would be no need to have this as an airtight area. In fact, I mean this glass here could be half height. It really wouldn't matter. It's really wind protection and weather protection for the animals, I guess. But there's no problem with it being a bit open. But obviously this roof here does need some support. It has some here, so it connects with the roof here, the panels here. But this front bit doesn't. But because of the way this roof looks with these girders here, what I'm going to do is put an extra piece of girder coming out here and down into this flower bed here as a sort of a T-shaped support. To make it look like this actually is supported by something. But yeah, I think it's a good shaped roof. So obviously it has integrated with this roof over here, which luckily doesn't show anywhere because it's all on the inside. Oh no, actually, hang on. Having said that, that piece there sticks through, so I need to sort that piece out. But the rest of it is hidden, obviously, inside where you can't really. There it is. You see, so you can't see it. It doesn't affect anything. So yeah. So obviously, I've got to do the inside of the enclosure here. So this roof is a separate building piece, and well, in fact, there's two. So all I'll do is just move them out of the way so I can build the rest of it, and then I'll just lower the roof back into place. But actually, I think that is going to look really nice as a building. So this is my idea for this zoo, is having these buildings like this sort of linked together but different, so it's obvious that this was an original building and then they built this bit on the side. I kind of like that, and I want lots of this, so where you've got buildings fairly close with the little pathways going down in between the buildings. That is my aim for this zoo. So yeah, there we go. So that's my roof. So now I need to start working on the inside. So I will get my animals in, and I will start having a bit of a think about what I'm going to do on the inside. So let me disappear once more and see what I can come up with. We have our Aardvarks in the house. So who have we got? We have Dulani, our little boy Aardvark, and his girlfriend is Naylor. Very nice. They seem quite happy in here. I mean, oh, look at that face. Oh, they're just so adorable, aren't they? I do love Aardvarks. They're very cute animals. Oh, he's having a little scratch. She's having a little scratch, I should say. Right, so what have I done in here? I've given them some water. So this is, I wanted, it didn't feel right having a sort of a natural looking water area in here, so I've gone for quite an artificial looking area. So it's like a proper swimming pool for them. So you've got your ramp coming down here and then your wooden edges, which is pretty cool. They actually do come in and out on these wooden edges as well, which looks a bit strange. I'd much prefer them to just use the ramp, but there we go. I wanted to give them a bed area. I know things like Aardvarks, they're quite shy and they do want a bit of privacy now and then. So I didn't want to just give them a shelter. I wanted to give them somewhere hidden from the public. And you do see this in most enclosures in zoos. Most of the animals will have somewhere they can go where the public can't see them. Which is not always good from our point of view, from the public's point of view, because you pay your money, you want to go and see the animals, but you've got to respect that they do need their privacy sometimes. So that's what I've given them here. So it's a very simple wall here, and then I've just put some flooring and some hay back here. So this is their bed, so they just come in and lie down here, and it just means that they can lie in peace without people being able to watch them. Obviously that's not going to happen in all the habitats, but in this one it just felt right, so that's what I've done. I've covered both this wall and the back wall with this lovely motif. I love the look of this. It's a really good backdrop. If you obviously in this case this wall was like this one here, so I've left this one, but all of this, it was just too much white, so I really wanted to cover it up and make it look a bit more jungly, and so these wall pieces are perfect for that. So I'm really pleased with the look of this. Obviously this one here, it's just sunk down into the ground. I can never remember what these pieces are called. A mural, that's it, a river mural. You also get an Arctic looking one as well, like a mountain, a snowy mountain piece, which is very good. But yeah, so that's that for now. I've just dumped this in here as well, just so they've got an extra bit of food, so that'll probably stay down that end. And they've got a scratching post as well. Is that a scratching post? I always forget what these ones are. Yeah, rubbing pad. So yeah, I mean that is sort of the basic structure now of the habitat. It's not really going to have much else in it other than some foliage, some rocks, more enrichment. Obviously the roof, you can see, is hovering all the way up here, so that will just be brought back down again once everything on the inside has been done. And then I've got a detail around the outside here as well, which I've got a bit of an idea for, and that will continue down here and become an extension of this flower bed, so a different themed flower bed with a new edge coming all the way along this pathway here, which I think will look really nice. Still need to work on this glass front as well, because like I said, it doesn't look strong enough at the moment, so I need to get some more solid beams put in along here. So yeah, plenty still to do. So without any more babbling on, I will go and crack on with a bit more. We now have foliage and enrichment items in the habitat. So let me just show you what I've done. So on these walls, there's this wall here and this other piece over here. So I'll put vines on here. I love these vines, they do look very cool. Just to cover them up, because again the walls were just a little bit too white, so yeah, it doesn't need anything too fancy, but some vines on there, and then just various things, some nettles, try and make it look nice and natural and wild. Lots of grass as well. I love this stuff. What is this? Drin grass. That looks really nice, and it gives them lots of little hidey holes. You've still got one of the enrichment items in there, so they're quite small animals, so when they lie down in these grasses they really do disappear, which is what they would want. Like I said, they're quite shy animals, so they'd want to be able to just duck down in the grasses and disappear. And I've kind of tried to blend the different things together. So you've got these other grasses here. What are these ones? A Triodia grass, and then you've got the underwater one. I know it's an underwater one, but I use this everywhere because it just looks fantastic. Really doesn't matter that it's meant to be underwater. These lovely big, what are these ones? Banana plants, of course, really nice. I've got some of these in my garden myself. They do not look that good, believe me. When you're in the UK and you don't get the right amount of sunshine, we've got too much wind, these plants get ripped to pieces, quite frankly, in the UK, unfortunately. And they look good. So you get these lovely big leaves that come up and unfurl. And within a couple of days they get shredded by the wind. So yeah, not great, unfortunately, but in the game they look really nice. So they've gone in. We have, what is this one? Oh, that's the custard apple as well. So lots of green. There's no real colour in here. Didn't feel right putting actual plants in. Some of these lovely big palms at the back here. What are these ones? The coconut palms. Got some what is this, papyrus, is it? Yeah, the papyrus in here as well, just to give it a little bit more height. A rubber duck, of course, because everyone who has water must have a rubber duck. A bit of scaviola here, just growing over the edge of the water. A bit more enrichment, more grasses. And then this one here, this is the elephant grass. Yeah, I absolutely love the look of this. The leaves that bend over like this. I don't know. It's just a lovely looking thing. So that, again, that's just covering up the whiteness of this wall. And this enrichment item is their most favourite. I mean, look at it. It's, yeah, well, 3 uses in the last 12 months. It often gets up to sort of 5 or 6 uses in 12 months. They absolutely love it. So that will be staying right where it is because they use that all the time. Oh, look at him. Look at him run. He wants some food. they knock this thing all over the place. They ram it into this glass, and the programming is really good when it hits objects. It really bounces around realistically. It's very cool to watch. He was actually bouncing on his head just now, which was quite clever. He ran in, it bounced high, and then it landed on top of him, and he just stood there with this whole barrel just balanced on his head. Unfortunately, I didn't capture that on camera, but yeah, it was pretty funny. So there we go. Look, they're just going to have a snooze. They've had some food now. Now they want to have a little lie down. Oh, you just want to stroke that nose, don't you? And the ears. Oh, so cute. I want one. I'm not sure I could have one, unfortunately. I don't think my girlfriend would approve. Oh, that deserves a screenshot, I think. Let me just see if I can get a nice screenshot. It's not a very interesting background, unfortunately, is it? It's not really going to work. No. He needs to. If he was doing that out here somewhere, I think I could get a really nice screenshot. But as it is, that's not going to look good as a thumbnail, unfortunately. So I will leave it for now. Oh, look at them. Oh dear, so cute. Anyway, sorry, I digress. I get distracted so easily in this game. Right, so that is sort of the inside done, actually. So it was a pretty simple build, this one. There wasn't too much to think about inside. It's just a case of trying to make it look wild and nurtured at the same time, you know, like a lot of these pens are in zoos. They do let things seed themselves around, but they've got to keep it tidy enough that the animals have plenty of room to get around, and obviously the keepers need to be able to get in and walk around as well. So there's a certain amount of maintenance that goes on, but a certain amount of letting things go wild too. I think it looks nice if you're looking through the nice dirty glass from the outside here. I think it looks pretty natural. So yeah, pretty pleased with that. Still lots to do though. So I've still got the structure on the outside of this glass area to sort out, as well as filling in the edge of the pathway here. I might get round to doing this end. I'm not sure. Again, it depends what happens in this area here. So I might not for now. I might leave that. But let's see. So I'll just go away and do a bit more work, and I'll be right back. Okay. Here we are, and the habitat is finished. So let me show you what I've done. I've done a fair bit, as you can see. So let's start with the outside here. So I really wanted to blend the areas together. So my idea for the edge of the path was to use a hedge, which you can see I've done all the way down there, which I think looks really nice. It just finishes it off, and it also creates a barrier so people aren't knocking on the glass here. And then to sort of blend the two together, I've used these lovely topiary archways. I love these pieces. I want to use them more. So it creates an entrance, obviously, but it also just blends this habitat here with this one over on this side really nicely. So I'm going to be doing a lot more of that sort of thing. Obviously I had a bit of a gap here, so I've just got some more of these lovely pink plants down in the gap there. Just to fill in the gap, you know. So that looks cool. I've put what have I done? I've done a support beam at the end here because I felt like this roof needed a good bit of support. Like I said, because it's not connected to this glass piece here, it needed support. So I've done a beam there, and then what I did here, I think this looks really nice. So I did a beam coming all the way across there and then down and into this flower bed. And obviously it looked silly like it was, so I've made it look like it's purposely had ivy grown up it and along it. And it just hides it a bit, but it's clearly there, and it's obviously you can see why it's there as well. It's the support beam for the roof. So I think it looks really nice, and again it creates, similar to these archways here, it creates a bit of a tunnel, which is something that I want to do more of again in this zoo, blending areas together like this. So I think that worked really nicely. To strengthen the look of this glass front, I've done some wooden beams on the corners, but also along here. So you've got one there and one there and one there and one there, and then again on this corner here. So I think that just makes the whole structure look a bit more stable and strong, like it's actually able to support the roof a bit better. Here is just another very simple media device, you know, just an information board. Nothing fancy needed for that. And that's basically it. And obviously the roof has come back down from its position in the sky, and so that's sunk back into place now. And we're there. We're you know, I didn't need to do any more out here because you already had the benches, so now these benches are a bit more relevant because people could sit on them and actually watch the animals. So yeah, so the animals are in here, as you can see. There we are. So you could stand out here now and quite happily watch them wander around inside. And I think that looks really nice. I'm very happy with how this has turned out. Yeah, it's good. It's good. I like it. It's exactly what I want, you know, having all these buildings kind of blending together and close to each other and narrow walkways in between them. That's the sort of look that I'm trying to go for. This I like this. I like having these things that are linked together, so it's not all completely separate from each other, but it all blends together. And yeah, I think we're going to have a lot of fun with this, so I really do. I've got lots of ideas for different things that I want to try and do. So that is going to be it for our Aardvark habitat. Again, I haven't done this end here because I don't know what's coming into this gap, but there will be something. Like I said, I will put a keeper hut, I think, around the back here, but again, I'm going to wait until I develop this area so that I know exactly what to put where. But that's going to be it for our Aardvarks. So let me give you the spoiler for the next episode. I'm going to continue for now over on this side of the park, but probably episode 4 I think will come over here, because again I've got an idea of what I want to put in here. But episode 3 is going to be here. It's going to be in this gap, and it's going to be, give me a drum roll. That was an awful drum, I do apologise. It's going to be koala bears. Actually no, it's going to be koalas. They're not bears. I always call them koala bears, and then I tell myself off. They're not koala bears, they're koalas. So yes, I've got a very unique idea for a habitat in here. This one is not going to involve a building, but it's going to involve... How can I describe it? No, do you know what? I can't describe it. But it's going to be something quite special, quite unique, I think, if it works. So yeah, we shall have to wait and see. But that's going to be our next episode. So koalas over here. So tune in next time if you want to watch me develop a rather interesting koala habitat. But for now, let's get our aerial overview of the zoo. It is coming together nicely, isn't it? Look at that. Yeah, I'm really happy with how that looks so far. Just thinking 80 or 90 episodes time, when it's right out here somewhere and my computer can't run it anymore, I'll be going, oh, do you remember back then? I had such good ideas for these buildings, didn't I? And you'll be thinking, yeah, but it didn't last long. Your first couple looked alright, and then they went downhill. Or maybe they'll get better, who knows? I don't know. We shall see. I like to think I might improve with age. Age and practice. But we shall see. So there we go. So that is going to be it for this episode. Let's come inside and say goodbye to our Aardvark friends. At some point I've got to try and take a good picture of one of these. Oh, look at him. He's pushed this barrel right over here. He's having a good old munch, isn't he? Right. Okay, Mr. Aardvark. Say goodbye to the audience. No, he's just going to hide in the bush. Fair enough. Right. So thank you very much for tuning in. And hopefully I will see you again very soon. Either in this zoo or another one, or one of my other videos, who knows. Until then, take care of yourselves, stay safe, and hopefully I'll see you soon. Bye for now.